Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, feeling like there's a weight pressing on your chest? Like someone placed a heavy stone right on top of you, and no matter how hard you try, the air just won't come in deep enough. I used to think sleep troubles were only for the young. Until one night I heard my grandma's breathing. It was soft but strained, steady but labored, like every breath was a little effort. The bedside lamp gave her face a pale yellow glow. Two thick quilts covered her small frame, and around her neck, 4 pillows all piled in different shapes and sizes. She tried to turn, tried to push the blanket off her chest, but her body wouldn't roll. The next morning, she sat quietly at the edge of the bed, didn't say much. When I asked how she slept, she smiled and said, "Maybe it's the wind last night." I felt a little short of breath, but something in me didn't sit right. I started to watch more closely. Each morning, she moved slower. Her shoulders looked tense, her eyes a bit swollen, and her first step always felt so heavy. I thought it was just age catching up, but then I began to wonder, what if the very things she thought were comforting, the pillows, the warm blankets, were actually pressing down on her lungs, tightening her chest, locking her body each night without her knowing? Just one small detail might be the thing quietly stealing her breath while she sleeps. There were nights I'd see my grandma wake up quietly. She'd place a hand on her chest, then exhale slow and shallow. Not because of a bad dream, not because of any noise, but because of something else. A quiet pressure right over her chest, just light, but it never seemed to go away. At first, we thought it was just old age. Maybe her heart, maybe her lungs weren't as strong anymore. But then I noticed something strange. Each morning, she added one more layer. Each night, another pillow. For warmth, she said, to feel safe, so I won't feel empty. But the more she added, the less she truly slept. She struggled to turn over. Her breaths grew shorter. Her head couldn't move freely. And every time she sat up, one hand gripped the bed frame, the other pulling gently at her collar, like she was trying to lift something off her chest. The things that were supposed to comfort her were quietly weighing her down. I once read something from a sleep expert. It said, "For many older adults, using lots of pillows and blankets is a way to feel safe. But too much weight on the chest during sleep can reduce airflow, raise heart rate, and over time make it harder for the body to take full deep breaths." That line stayed with me because one night I stood at her door watching her sleep. A pillow pressed against her belly, her neck curled forward. Her body looked small, wrapped too tightly, and I remembered something a friend once told me. The neck is the bridge between the mind and the body, and when that bridge bends, the wind can no longer pass through. What if the wind, her breath, was being blocked? What if what she thought was warmth was actually a soft cocoon that kept her from breathing freely? And what if this quiet burden, these layers she thought were keeping her safe, were the very reason she felt so tired every morning? It was early morning, the sky still misty, and the room filled with that quiet air only sunrise brings. I sat there watching my grandma fold her blanket. Slowly, carefully, she didn't groan, didn't complain of any pain. She just moved, gently, and let out a long breath, longer than usual. That's when I noticed. Each time she bent forward, it was with caution, like her body was afraid of hurting itself again. Next to her, a stack of pillows, big ones, small ones, a long body pillow, layered like a soft fortress around her bed. I asked quietly, "Grandma, do you feel short of breath at night?" She paused, then nodded slowly. "Maybe I'm just getting old," she whispered, "but yes, It does feel like something presses on my chest every single night. And suddenly, a thought came to me, not loud, but sharp enough to stay. Maybe these pillows, sos, aren't holding her up. Maybe they're holding her down. I looked again, not just at the number of pillows, but at where they rested. One at her back, one stretched across her belly, another under her neck. Each one was soft, individually harmless, but together they pressed on her chest like a quiet weight. No one had ever shown her how to choose a pillow that fits an aging body. No one told her that sometimes holding too much can steal your breath gently without you even knowing. Each pillow once a little comfort, but layer by layer, they turned her sleep from deep and full into a pattern of small, shallow gasps through the night. I had always thought she was resting peacefully, but maybe she was only learning how to breathe inside a space that had gotten too crowded with care. That night, I brought a small body pillow into her room. It was light, long, soft like a scarf in autumn. I said gently, "Grandma, let's try just this one tonight, to support your arm. The rest we'll set them aside, just for one night." She looked at me, then turned her gaze to the familiar pile of pillows by her bed. There was a pause. Then she said, "Without all those pillows, I'm afraid I'll feel too exposed, dear." And I understood. To her, those pillows weren't just for support. They were safety, a quiet wrap around her heart, something to hold on to when the dark grew too quiet. But that night she gave it a try. We kept just 3 things: one soft low pillow for her back, one body pillow across her belly, just enough for her hand to rest on, and a thin blanket, light but warm. I turned off the lights, opened the curtain just slightly so the porch light could shine in soft and golden, like silk. Before leaving the room, I turned around. She was lying still, her hands not gripping anything, just resting gently on that small pillow, like a new habit, just beginning to bloom. That night, I didn't hear her toss and turn. No rustling blankets, no sharp breaths in the middle of the night. Only the quiet ticking of the clock, steady, peaceful, and a strange feeling came over me, as if even the room itself had started to breathe more lightly. The first 2 nights, she didn't say much. She just woke up a little earlier and quietly went about her day. She didn't reach for the pile of pillows, didn't ask where they were. I asked her gently, "Did you sleep okay?" She gave a small nod. "Not too bad," she said, "but it does feel a little strange." I didn't press. Sometimes change needs room to settle. But by the 4th morning, something shifted. She walked out to the porch with a cup of tea, didn't sit down gasping, didn't stretch her back with a grimace like usual. She just sat there, hands relaxed, eyes calm, like nothing heavy had pressed on her chest the night before. And then she turned her neck, not slowly, not carefully, but the way someone moves when their body doesn't hurt. She smiled softly. "My back feels less stiff," she said, almost surprised to hear it out loud. I looked around her room that morning, one pillow for her back, one small body pillow, and the blanket folded neatly at the edge of the bed. No mountain of pillows, no fortress of softness, just space and breath. She never made a big announcement, never said, "This is better." But every night after that, I saw her quietly remove one extra blanket, set aside one more pillow. Not because I reminded her, but because her body remembered something her mind had long forgotten. What it feels like to truly rest. There's something about sleep that no one ever quite says out loud. Sleep doesn't come from holding tight. It comes from learning to let go just enough. My grandma, like many elderly people, had a quiet instinct. When she felt anxious or empty, she reached for something to hold. A pillow, a heavy blanket, one more layer of comfort. It made her feel safe, as if heavier meant safer. But in sleep, that heaviness turns into something else. The chest begins to sink. The air can't move freely, and slowly, the breath becomes shallow. The brain doesn't get the oxygen it needs, and real restful dreams never come. I once read a line from a sleep expert. It said, "Air reaching deep is the foundation for deep sleep." And another that stayed with me. Every 500 grams of misplaced pillow can make the heart beat 5 to 10 more times each minute during sleep. For someone over 70, those extra heartbeats matter. Every time the breath gets tight and they shift in bed, trying to find air, a dream gets broken. And when morning comes, they wake up tired, without ever knowing why. But here's the gentle truth. You don't need medicine, you don't need new gadgets, you just need to start with one small thing. Remove a little, let your body breathe, let your chest feel free, let your breath flow back in, because sometimes it's in the letting go that real sleep returns. Less, but in the right place. Once we understood the principle that lighter means easier breathing, we didn't need to buy anything new. No machines, no medicine, not even a new bed, just a few small changes in how we used what we already had. That's how we started. Step 1. Fewer pillows, but chosen wisely. We kept just one head pillow, medium soft, not too high, about 7 to 10 centimeters. We placed it just slightly under her neck, not pushing up the shoulders, and one light body pillow about half her body length, enough to hug without pressing down on the chest. Step 2. Swap the heavy blanket for something lighter. We used a warm, breathable cover, something like a 2-layer cotton blanket. And if it was a cold night, we added another thin layer, but only near the feet, not the chest. The goal was simple: keep the legs and hips warm, and let the chest stay free to breathe. Step 3. Adjust the sleep position. We asked her to lie on her left side, with her top arm resting gently on the body pillow. Hand placement was key, not pressing into the chest, not bent tightly into the neck, just resting, soft and natural. That way the shoulder relaxed, and the chest could rise and fall with ease. After a few nights like this, something changed. She no longer woke up at 2 a.m., no more tossing the blanket, no more gasping in the dark. The child called it 3 light steps to open the door for sleep to breathe. And it really was that simple. Not more, just better placed, less, but right. Tidy the bed, tidy the breath. The solution isn't only in the pillow or the blanket, it's also in how we treat the bed. As a quiet, sacred space, a space not just to sleep, but to let go, to clear both the body and the mind. The child shared something simple with her grandma, a small habit, but a gentle turning point. Before bed, she said, "Let's tidy up a little, not just the bed, but also the day." Habit 1, tidy the bed with your own hands. Smooth the sheet, fold the corners of the blanket, adjust the pillow into place. It's not about perfection, it's about rhythm. When the hands move gently, the mind follows, and calm arrives quietly. Habit 2. Dim the lights, let softness return. Turn off the harsh white bulbs. Light a warm amber night lamp. When golden light touches the wall, the body begins to understand. Night has come. It's okay to release. Habit 3. Write or read something small. One line of gratitude, a quiet poem, a story from long ago. Not to entertain, but to shift the heart. From alert to still, from scattered to slow. no yoga, no medicine, just 5 minutes each night. To gently tell the body now is the time to breathe. Slow, even, and gently. When we hold less, sleep holds us more. There was a time my grandma would quietly turn herself in the middle of the night. Not because of pain, not because of fear, but because her body just couldn't find a place to rest. She believed, like many do, that more pillows would help, that more blankets would ease the emptiness. Until one night, her breath began to break, and she said almost to herself, "Feels like I'm being pressed down, but it's me, pressing on myself." There were no tears, no sudden alarm, just one quiet morning when she didn't smile while sipping her tea. And I knew something had to change, a gentle invitation. For tonight, if you or someone you love has ever woken in the night with a heavy chest, a tight neck, a pounding heart, try this. Fold away one pillow, fold away one blanket, and leave on the bed. Only a body gently embraced by its own breath. You don't need to change the whole bed. You don't need to change your whole life. Just hold a little less, so that sleep has the space to hold you more. And if tomorrow morning you wake up feeling lighter, come back here and tell me how sleep embraced you last night.